My name is Gregory K. Morrison, and today I will be auditioning for the role of Ansel Elgort in Baby Driver. For those of you who don't know, this past weekend was Summer in the City, which is okay. Let's go way deep in case you've been living under a total rock for the entirety of your YouTube life. It's a gathering, or more accurately, it started off as a gathering and has evolved into more of a convention where people from all over the country and even the world, I guess, can go and meet their favourite YouTubers and go to panels, and there's live baking shows and musical performances, and you can buy merchandise, and there's sponsorships, and people go, and McDonald's had a big McFlurry. Right, okay. You see what this is? I'm going to take these out as well because they're not even plugged into anything. This is ridiculous. Like, I'm using my phone as a camera, and that's sort of my point here. So, anyone who attended Summer in the City of 2017 may have attended the smaller YouTube panel. I hope you did. It was fantastic. It was run by my beautiful, wonderful friend Emma Popcorn, and the panellists were equally as beautiful and wonderful. I will link to all of their Twitters in the description below. But the main thing that I'd like to discuss is something that was brought up at the smaller YouTube panel. That was a question that a lovely lady whose name I did not catch asked, which essentially boiled down to, how do I do this? How do I small YouTube? How do I YouTube? And how do I make videos on a budget? This lady discussed how she wanted to do great things with her passion, which I think was jewellery. I think that was that. And she wanted to make videos about it, which, excellent, brilliant. You follow your passions, you do what you want to do, don't let anything stop you. But, funnily enough, something stopped her. And that thing was production value. In the world of YouTube today, which is, I believe, just around about 12 years since it began. 12, Jesus, okay. Things have changed slightly. You've gone from two guys in their bedroom singing along to the Pokemon theme tune, to highly produced, highly expensive makeup tutorials, haul videos, sponsored content. You've gone very far. There's still two guys in their bedroom singing the Pokemon theme tune. That still exists. But corporate YouTube, big YouTube, the one that YouTube tries to advertise itself by, that's different. And so you have people out there wanting to take part, wanting to display their creativity, wanting to show their passions to the world. And they feel that they can't because they can't match the standard. And I made a little thread on Twitter, which, again, linked in the description, about my general feelings on this. But I felt that they couldn't really be contained to a Twitter thread, so I would make this video. And the basic point of it is, everyone can do this. Everyone. And you may be thinking, oh, but I don't have a camera. Yes, you do. You may be thinking, I don't have a microphone. You may not have this one, but you've got a microphone. You may be thinking, oh, I don't have all the... I don't care what you think you don't have, because I can tell you that you have it, or if you don't need it. Let me tell you what I've got set up right now in order to make this video. A very simple discussion. I have a tripod, Amazon Basics, £10 to £20. I have my phone, which I won't tell you the price of, because if you're watching this, the likelihood is you're able to have a phone and a phone isn't exclusively for video making. I have a laptop, which, same deal as the phone, you probably already have one, they're not exclusively for video making. I do have a microphone, I will say that. I do have a relatively fancy blue Snowball microphone that I was lucky enough to receive as a gift from a family member. This was not specifically for the purpose of video making, but I am using it because it enhances my videos. If I wasn't to use it, I would be using the microphone already built into my camera, my phone, and that would change things, but I'll get more into that later. And that, I believe, is it. I have myself and my own thoughts, but, they're free. And so, I wanted to discuss the stigma, the expectations, and how none of it really matters when you have creativity. So let's start with the idea that you need fancy equipment. You don't. You absolutely don't. What you need is yourself, a phone, and editing software. Now that third one is the tricky one, because I will grant, possibly more so than anything else, editing software benefits you more the more expensive it is. All phones will come with an inbuilt editing software, a trimmer, maybe some sort of color grading, maybe something. YouTube as a website has its own editing software. However, as was discussed at the YouTube panel, it's getting rid of it, and that really sucks. That is genuinely bad. It's a poor decision from a company which used to pride itself on the tagline of broadcast yourself. However, you will be able to access other editing software. If you have a Mac of any kind, iMovie. If you have a laptop of any kind, Windows Movie Maker. There are going to be other free alternatives out there. I don't personally know any, but if you Google around, I'm sure you'll find some. But the basic gist of it is, all you need to make any video, I'm going to go out and say that as a generalization, any video is the ability to jump cut. There's been a lot of discussion around jump cut as a tool. There's just been a lot of discussion about it, the pros, the cons, the over-reliance on it, the way it's developed in this YouTube culture. But all it really essentially is ending a clip, cutting out a little bit, and starting on the next clip without having to stop and start the camera. Now, this is useful for editing out dead time. That's literally all I use it for. I don't reposition anything, although that has its own pros and cons and artistic merits. I simply use it to cut out dead time, to shorten the length of the video, make it more engaging and watchable. I don't know exactly what kind of content this lady in question, or you the viewer, want to make. However, I'm going to go and say everything can be jump cutted. Whether it's a simple discussion, whether it's even a film, whether it's a makeup tutorial where you want to display the products you use, anything can be jump cutted. I even believe Windows Movie Maker has some merit in its transitions. It also possibly has the ability to put text on the top of an image. If not, free photo editing software that you can place in the video after you filmed it. And this brings me on to my second point. There are multiple options for everything. Use your limitations. Do not see them as obstacles that hinder your video making potential. See them as puzzles for you to solve. If you're making content such as the video that I'm currently making, that's easy. You sit down, you talk to the camera, you chop it up in post, upload it. Maybe toss some imagery up there. I don't know. If you want to make something more fancy, and all you have is the most simple of tools, let's say you're making a film. Really, if you have any experience, if you have any knowledge, or if you don't have either of those things, if you have friends with experience and knowledge, all you need is good camera handling and the ability to just chop off the end and the beginning of each clip, stick it together, there you go, you've made a film. Might not be the greatest film, who cares? You're not Steven Spielberg, you don't have a budget of $3.5 trillion. That's not how much it takes to make a film, but I think I've made my point. Anything that you make for free does not have to be high quality, because that's what production value is. If it's high production value, you have a high production cost. You don't have a high production cost, you're not going to have high production value. That doesn't mean you don't have quality video, because as long as you make your point, as long as you stick true to the meaning behind the video, and as long as you can be proud of your final product, the value and the cost are totally irrelevant. If you have an issue that would be easily solved with expensive editing software, with an expensive hardware setup, or with years of practice, that's fine, because you just got to find another way to solve it. Let's say that you have the issue of no tripod, okay? You have no tripod. What do? You get a stack of books, because I'm sure you have books or DVDs, or just something to prop your phone on, maybe something to lean it against, and hit record. That's a tripod, right there. It's not the best, it's going to be limited to position, but it's a tripod. Let's say you don't have a microphone, and recording outside, I genuinely don't know how the wind is going to affect this right now, because it's quite windy, but let's say it's so windy. Let's say you can't have a microphone right next to your mouth. Let's say your microphone's got to be in your camera. That will affect things. Don't film outside. That may limit the things you can do, but work with your limitations. Figure out a way to make it look good either way. Set up your camera in such a way that maybe you have a brick wall inside. That's a lovely background. Brick walls look great. Maybe you have an environment that's just not quite working. Set up the camera so it's just your face. And then, with that camera angle, with that visual element, figure out a way to make it engaging. This is where the jump cut can come in. You can move around the area. You can use your framing as a stage. Jack Howard, in particular, does this very efficiently. So does Sam from Super Sam Stuff. They set up their camera in one spot, have a general kind of bedroom/living room setup, and they move around, using the jump cut to make the timing and the pacing of the video really good, really snappy. And in fact, you know what? There's been an entire video essay dedicated to this topic by Folding Ideas. I will link it in the description. Learn from it, apply the lessons from it to absolutely everything in your video making tool set, and hopefully you'll be able to make videos of any variety, of quality, no matter your budget. To everyone watching this video, video production value and video production cost are irrelevant to passionate, smaller, perhaps newer creators. It helps. It really does. If you are able to dedicate some money to buying equipment or software to make your life easier, by all means go for it. You will unlock new potential. However, if it does not matter, if this is not your career, if you are not looking to make it your career, or if you are just starting out, what's really most important is that you show your artistry, you show your passion, and you make something you can be proud of, because the alternative is not making anything at all. And where are you getting with that? So if you can make something, do it. Not despite your limitations, but because of them. Prove to your viewers, prove to yourself that you can make a video. because you can. Thank you for watching. If I met you at Sitsi this last weekend, thank you for a wonderful time. You've really invigorated me in this whole escapade. And I hope to talk to you on Twitter. Thank you for your time. Good luck in your video making future. Goodbye.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, I got to tell you about the fabulous, most groovy bell bottoms.